Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. Game 3. A very scary proposition stares down the players of the infamous squad. Of course, I saw someone in chat say you either go full Peru or no Peru at all. And that seems to hold true through the first two games of this series. Sacred, 5 out of 5 players from Peru. Infamous, only 4 out of 5. And their captain, to boot, the only non-Peruvian. But I'm sure they've been in this situation before. I mean, these are some players that have played together for a long while. However, there is a stand-in, if you've noticed, for Infamous's side. Their carry player currently missing. So not sure what's up with that, but feels like a game you'd want your full 5-man squad for, considering you are facing elimination, although this is the most decisive they've been all day as far as the drafts go. And is this, what is this, all random mode? Infamous opening with the AA Earthshaker. AA great into Winter Wyvern for obvious reasons. Ice Blast, Cold Feet, Magic Vortex, Icy Vortex, excuse me, all on top of the Cold Feet, or Cold Embrace. Wow. Nice try on those spell names. And Earthshaker pretty damn good into Prophet, at least later into the game. Early on, of course, Prophet a very effective laner. And quite the proponent of harassment with his Treants and big right click. Benjaz Juggernaut, Matthew Clockwork going to be banned in the first phase. The big switch up from Infamous here. Pretty much identical bans from Sacred, although they do take out the Schofield Lion, which he is very capable on. Sven ban comes out once again for Sacred. Interesting how sometimes you do want to face a Sven as Wyvern. You can put him to use, so to speak, with the Winter's Curse. But against the Prophet, makes a lot of sense. They want to take him out. I wonder where the stand-in is from for Infamous's side. They could be even short another Peruvian, which would be, of course, extremely concerning. So yeah, Kotaro Hayama. I don't know where he's gone, folks. I did not see anything in the lobby. But there is a stand-in in his place, and he's tagged up as Deity. And the way Game 2 looked, I mean, Game 1 was a lot closer, but the way Game 2 looked, Infamous may need nothing short of a Deity to turn this series around. So we'll see if he can bring godlike powers to this game. Anti-Mage going to be the pickup in the 3rd slot for Infamous, so could be considered a risky pick to pick him up this early. But after the Void ban, I suppose they felt confident in their pick. Spirit Breaker still on the table. Looks like it could be a really good pick for Sacred as far as providing them with a bit of lockdown, giving them the ability to chase down this Ancient Apparition early on. Anti-Mage, not a hero that's great in lane as far as trading, but if you're a Spirit Breaker charging at his Ancient Apparition with potentially, you know, a Nature's Prophet TPing in, he's not the best at dissuading you from continuing to press forward. So I think there is, you know, an exploitability there in that Infamous safe lane. It'll be the Slardar, so kind of similar in vein in terms of run at you. Not quite as quick as the Spirit Breaker, barring the river, of course, where Slardar is, well, let's just say the quickest in the game. Adds to the physical damage potential of the Prophet, can help them Roche. Those two heroes alone already kind of the makings of a good Roche lineup. The Kunkka ban is an interesting one to come out from Infamous. And perhaps in some respects, it was to cover their bases on the anti-mage pick. You X him, he blinks away, you bring him back. Really not ideal for the AM. So looking for a mid laner and potentially an off laner, potentially a support. I would say, considering Infamous's track record, that they would put the Earthshaker in the off lane. However, versus Wyvern Slardar, seems like a very difficult game. So you may elect to take a more elusive off laner.
Puck.
They'll go for the puck here, speaking of elusive. And don't want to give that back to Sacred. We saw Leo style ball on that hero last game, and to be honest, I haven't seen a game where he doesn't perform well on the Schofield, on the puck. Win or lose, Leo style always seems very comfortable on that hero. But it'll be more than likely in the hands of Papita for this game. They do have some heroes that can certainly create space in the Ancient Apparition Earthshaker puck for this anti-mage. But Sacred going to take out a page out of Infamous's book and pick the Templar Assassin up for Leo style here. Maybe he can play that matchup even better than Papita did, being that he knows the puck so well. Obviously, tons of synergy between Corrosive Haze, Prophet, and Templar Assassin, and the Templar Assassin meld. So we will absolutely see Roshan crumble if they get the chance to walk into that pit. So Weaver Band going to come out for Infamous. Would just be another load of physical damage that they can deal with, but requires some precise spell casting from the puck and the Earthshaker. Razorban is going to be one to cover the bases of both the TA and the Lifestealer. Could have flexed the puck to the off lane. I talked about this last draft, that Benjaz is very comfortable on the LS, and now having potentially the TP in with the Prophet Infest, the Blink Templar Assassin Infest, the Blink Slardar Infest. Lots of vessels for him in this game. And it will actually be the off lane puck for Infamous. They feel rather safe there against the Wyvern Slardar Lifestealer, and they should. All he has to dodge is the Crush in order to survive. But can take a lot of harass from the Arctic Burn. Game 3, guys. Sacred vying for a chance to fly out to California in 4 weeks for the Dota Summit 8 Minor. Mm-mm. 300 points at stake in the Dota 2 Pro Circuit, as well as $300,000 for the Dota Summit. And one game separates Sacred from California. This morning, Fnatic and Kinguin in the SEA and EU qualifiers respectively punched their ticket to the summit. And they're going to join the King's Cup winners Optic and the direct invite previous champion OG. First land that OG's been to in a little while. Alright, let's get into it, boys. I guess they've been to lands, just not majors. And Summit is a minor, so. Maybe they haven't been to any lands. I don't know. Liquipedia seems to agree with me. Either way, OG waiting alongside Fnatic, Kinguin, and Optic Gaming for the winner of this series, and Sacred up 2-0. King Tekka with the good luck deity And whatever that says. I think this is a proposal from King Tekka to join forces with the anti-mage, trying to butter him up here. Sacred looking to take their win, and obviously spirits are high on the Sacred side, just judging by the mannerisms of the players. But we'll see if this causes them to lose focus. You know, often SA is regarded as an unrefined or less disciplined region. Well, Excel in trouble here. Well, maybe not. He'll get crushed and probably will take some damage. They're going to try for the body blocks with Matthew here, and they're pretty damn good. Matthew on the starter. Arctic Burn is going to come out. Need a few more right clicks. They'll get the second crush off. Couple more right clicks. He'll drop the TP down. And the Nature's Prophet will cop a crap ton of harass, and King Tekka, he may just be dead. Yep, King Tekka's dead. Alright. So First Blood goes the way of Infamous as they get eyes wide open on that ancient apparition. And King Tekka will be forced to TP out to lane just to block up his wave. Brings the Treants in as well to help him in that endeavor. But First Blood going to go the way of Infamous, and it's going to go the way of, I believe, the Earthshaker. Yeah, it does. So Schofield. A nice little bit of gold in his pockets on the way to that Soul Ring. Gotta love this change to Soul Ring. That after Urn was changed, there was no loadout with 2 Gauntlets of Strength that was useful. So now the Soul Ring kind of provides that. Sometimes you're an offlaner going against a lane versus a Skywrath +1, and you know, Stout Shield doesn't offer you so much value there, so 2 Gauntlets can be really nice in that scenario. Meanwhile, top lane, Benjaz, all by his lonesome, is going to get harassed quite heavily and forced to salve here early on. TP inbound top lane from the Wyvern, and it looks like it'll be a 2-2 contest here as they force the Anti-Mage off the lane, trying to rattle the cage of the stand-in for Infamous, so to speak. But Stinger having a great time in this top lane so far.
Denied. Greetings.
Denying up that range creep. So 4 CS for the Lifestealer and 1 CS for the Anti-Mage. Matthew continues to chase. He had to use that blink for killing off the Nature's Prophet early, or had to skill the blink, excuse me. So he just now hits level 2. And now the Treant's going to be popped. They're going to search for him some more. Crush comes out. 1 more right click's all that's needed. King Tekka and Matthew find a kill on the Anti-Mage. Fisher's going to go out just to cancel the Clarity. Meanwhile, mid lane, Leo style. They have a Cold Feet here. And Flame Guard is a damn good spell. Oh, the change, though. Unfortunate luck for Pepita will not connect. But Cold Feet is there regardless. And Leo Style, actually, for his trouble, is going to take a lot of damage.
A prize.
And now with a Haste Rune, the Ancient Apparition wrapping around. He only has a Fairy Fire here. I know there's action happening bottom lane, but I'm worried about the mid laner. Excel with a Haste, looking for the Courier. Trying to snipe it. Crush will miss from the Slardar. He'll get blocked off, but he's got the sprint. Now, Courier's going to be dropped. That's a salve for Leo Style and a Windlace taken out by Excel. Look at this. What a pro camera.
Not for you.
I'm trying my best, guys. As mid lane, Leo Style's rather low. They have some Radiant Vision here as well, but he's feeling confident still. Ember Spirit is deceptively weak against physical damage, and of course Pure kind of falls in that category too early on. Has the Flame Guard for his effective HP, but not much else.
That was not
Once his agility starts to ramp up a bit, is a little bit more resilient, but early on can certainly be bursted with physical. So Leo Style kind of feeling okay to turn and trade with him, as you see, even with Flame Guard up. Meld Strike flies out. TP inbound now. King Tekka mid lane. Sprout. Treants are there as well to soak the tower damage. Nice body blocks coming out. Sleight of Fist though, gonna dodge 1 projectile. He needs another, and the right click from the Treant gets the kill. King Tekka. Lovely piece of micro there. And Sacred firing on all cylinders throughout the series thus far. Anti-Mage does find some space bot lane, though. He's got 11 CS now.
Yes.
As King Tekka returns to the lane. Double damage rune is bottom. Matthew doing a little bit of trading with Schofield. And the Slardar the one to pick up the rune there. He's got himself a double damage as well. Meanwhile, top lane. Puck being forced out by the Wyvern. TP back into mid from Leo style. And double damage Slardar. Deep behind enemy lines. Does have vision of the anti-mage, but maybe the easier kill here is this Ancient Apparition, who's just outside of dire range, sitting here. Jump forward, Crush is going to be there. And the TP forward from King Tekka is under the tower, unfortunately. But they still have some kill potential here. The Ancient Apparition steps forward. Matthew going to try and run off the cold feet, and he cannot do it. As old Stinger going to rotate back down to the bottom lane. They could be a little bit overcommitted here. Silence going to be onto Matthew. He doesn't have the mana. Trying to keep King Tekka up. They'll probably just both die. And the blink forward is there. King Tekka will try and right-click the tower in the meantime. That is a 3x kill streak going the way of the Anti-Mage, so... Bit of an overplay from Sacred. And they need to continue to be disciplined in this game in order to take the series, as they've been previously. Sentry here is outside of the range of Leo style.
Your place is here.
Leo style will slight dodge. Click there, and now in trouble again. Bottom lane is King Tekka. He's going to get fissured up. He needs to sprout and survive, and he does. Beautifully played, as the TP in from the Wyvern will give him the cold embrace to survive. Tranquil's up on Matthew. He's going to move a little bit more quickly now. Just a 1 point in sprint. Often we see a 2-1 build from Slardar, but just a 1 point in sprint for him here.
A soldier's fortune.
Top lane and fast out from Benhaz, and nothing much more. Benjaz, excuse me. I always mess that one up. If you're at all familiar with my casting, I said Benhaz far too often. I thought it was like some Spanish thing, and then realized his name was Benjamin, so... Shame on me, I guess. 49 CS right now for Benjaz, speaking of which. Compare that to his laning equivalent for Deity's Anti-Mage, 23. But the puck's gotten a lot out of the offlane. Matthew now going to jump forward. They force out the blink. Hanging around is the Slardar. Meanwhile, mid lane, Leo style in trouble. Chains are going to overlap nicely with the cold feet. They do not get the proc, though. And he'll drop the psionic trap to facilitate his retreat. A little bit of trading going on bottom lane. Not sure what happened there with Matthew being so low. And it looks like King Tekka will catch a glimpse of Schofield. They do not get the Crush off just yet. Crush will come through almost simultaneously with the Enchant Totem. Still, though, a difficult kill for Matthew, and he'll back his way out. Stinger is level 6, but Wyvern nearby as well. The puck will think better of continuing to chase. Now mid lane, Leo style in trouble, gets the psionic trap off. Nice remnant bomb. Fairy fire though keeps Leo style alive. Cold embrace is going to be there. Orb now from old Stinger though, looking for the TA. He doesn't have refraction, does have a meld, but he's going to get waning rifted up. And Fisher comes through. Gets the refraction off in time. Old Stinger could be in a little bit of trouble. Gets the phase shift off. Psionic trap is there. He's going to jaunt off to the west. Matthew pursuing him. Flying vision from the Sprout. And Old Stinger perhaps a bit too healthy. But TP's in from Sacred. Save their Leo style TA. In the meantime, Benjaz just doing work in the top lane. Anti-Mage does find himself some space bottom as well. However, this tier 1 tower is very healthy. And this one has taken a decent amount of damage. Take a look at the levels across the board, and the supports for the Radiant side are outpacing those of their opponents right now, as there's been a lot of roaming and a lot of TPing between the Slardar and the Wyvern. Alright, they'll get the Crush off on the low ground, and now Deity, he's going to get the covering Fisher to allow him to blink. Level 2 blink. We don't see this build all that often. 4-2-0 on the Deity Anti-Mage. And you can get that extra 300 range later on. But we'll allow him to retreat to safety for now. Meanwhile, Sprout comes out by the Nature's Prophet. Schofield looking to block him off. May blocked himself off. With the Arctic Burn, they don't even need the Crush here. And a couple more right clicks. Nature's Wrath will finish him off. Now a defensive blink from Deity, who's rather low and doesn't have any points in the spell shield yet. Matthew looking to find him here. And he will get the Crush off, but do they have the damage? They do not. Now TP forward from King Tekka, and they're looking for more here. They need a couple more right clicks on this Anti-Mage. Beautiful. Fisher comes through. The Mana Void connects on 2. And a double kill for Pepita with the Ember Spirit rotation. They punish the aggression of the Sacred Heroes. Again, just very overzealous in looking for this Anti-Mage. Maybe finally Leo style gets some damage done into the mid lane tower, but that's not even the case just yet. There is a stack, though, that he'd like to work on that the Radiant have prepared so kindly for him.
Illusion.
Pick up a couple of illusions, allow those to tank, and should be able to finish this off. Pepita and Excel nearby. Excel not anywhere near that all-important level 6 milestone, though. And we'll kill off the Ancient Prowler before he gets rooted up there, so... Leo Style does take out the stack. Will make his way up the net worth chart. Pepita, though, similarly so after that double kill, is looking very strong as far as his value. Speaking of strong, this push is going to be exactly that in the bottom lane. And Benjaz gets the last hit on the tower top. He could be in trouble here, though. With the coil available now in 1 second for Stinger, he's going to get it off. And there's nothing for Benjaz to infest to. He's going to pop the armlet and TP out. Nicely played. Mentioned Lifestealer as a hero that Benjaz does play relatively often. Masoku, positioned up to the north, could be a little vulnerable here. And King Tekka, in the nick of time, will back his way out. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's a skirmish going on. Excel going to drop. Matthew survives. And King Tekka pressing forward. Doesn't have much backup here, but still just feeling very strong against this duo of heroes. There is an Echo Slam available for Schofield, but he's going to have to walk towards it, of course. King Tekka needs to be careful not to stand too close to his units here. Schofield looking for the Echo, doesn't land it. Will at least farm a crap ton of Treants, but maybe wants to go for the Fisher first there. Either way, Pepita's rotating through. Schofield's going to drop here to the Wyvern, but Prophet will drop soon thereafter. And again, it's kind of a case of Sacred overstepping their bounds. Mana Void finishes another off. Top lane, they don't get anything done on Stinger, who's too elusive of a target. And still, they are farming on their Tricore. They do get the Earthshaker at the onset of that engagement as well. Ice Blast, not sure where that was intending to connect, but they do have the Haze, and this is something we mentioned they can do in a hurry. Lifestealer, TA, Nature's Prophet, Slardar. Literally every one of these heroes is good at Roche. Looks like they popped the Lincolns with the open wounds, so they won't be able to benefit from that healing the team, but I mean, this is a 13-minute Roche, and it is just shredded. TA going to pick up the Aegis there, and that is a big part of this Sacred lineup, is taking the Roshan. Bit of overlapping vision for both sides here, as Leo Style will finish up the Ancients. Meanwhile, mid lane, Open Wound's going to go out onto the puck. Benjaz does pop his Rage, so needs to be a little bit careful to continue pursuit. And we'll back to kind of a safe haven here in the mid lane. Leo Style with the Aegis feeling rather confident to push into this tower alongside Benjaz. There is a blink on Stinger, so their blink waning rift can buy them enough time to kill off the Lifestealer. Meanwhile, top lane, Matthew gonna rotate in, find a kill on the Earthshaker. said Earthshaker. 1,400 gold on the way to his Blink Dagger, so it was a bit closer than that a moment ago. They will be able to outdistance the Ice Blast to Leo Style and Benjaz in the mid lane. Benjaz going to cop the Illusory Orb damage. Now Leo Style could be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to stick up, pop the coil, and get Cold Embraced in the meantime. Now that is a type of overlap on a stun that is actually beneficial.
Yes.
Alright, Matthew hoping that Pepita wanted to make the jump in, and he actually does mistakenly. It has to be mistakenly jump forward to that Remnant. That's going to secure the tier 1 tower. In the meantime, Deity does get a kill bottom on the Nature's Prophet. He'll use Mana Void for that. But I do not think that that is what the Argentinian captain intended on doing their mid lane. And now Excel going to be scouted with the Psionic Trap. They missed the crush, but should be a dead AA regardless. Meld Strike, one more right click, Leo Style with the Desolator is just hitting for immense amounts. Leo Style will drop a trap down, you know, effectively a ward here by the Ancients. Even though they do have one up. This sentry just out of range of that ward, unfortunately. So a couple of spills taken recently by King Tekka. He's 5-5-3. He has 5 deaths, but also part of his actually all 8 of his team's 8 of 10 of his team's kills, if I could read left to right properly. And well on his way to an Orchid, about 1,000, 1,100 gold-ish away from that. Vision briefly scouting the puck, making a rotation down, will sound the retreat for Sacred. And King Tekka tentatively pushing into the top lane. Now with that Vision giving them a little bit of knowledge as to the position of the opponent, he will shove the wave in with the Siege Creep and cause TPs in from both Pepita and Schofield. Now Old Stinger showing under Ward Vision bottom. We'll see if they make a move on the puck here.
A prize. Greetings.
And just creating space right now is Stinger. There is a blink on the Slardar, however. He's going to force out a sentry from Masoku. And I heard an infest somewhere. It's going to be, yeah, fresh Blink Dagger Slardar with the infested. Oh, and this is a very dead Ancient Apparition if they find him. For now, that won't be the case. Still a little bit of time left on the smoke. Sprint up by Matthew. They're going to see... Oh, Farming Ancients is the anti-mage. Do they get a bash? They do not. He will be able to blink over to the Shrine. Meanwhile, Winter Wyvern, perhaps a little bit out of position, but Schofield unsuccessful as far as initiating on him. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they should know that Leo Style's alone. He still has the Aegis available, so does want to at least try and take someone with him. And now a blink forward. Crush is going to find the puck. 2 right clicks. Matthew will get him down by his lonesome. Splinter Blast going to fly through. Cold Embrace is there onto Leo Style as well, but we talked about it in the draft. Cold Embrace into the Ice Blast. Blink out. Chilling Effect is there onto Leo Style. He does have Refraction soon, though, so can... you know, eat up a couple of ticks of this Ice Blast and we'll be just fine. They'll get the tier 2 with kind of the residual duration of the Aegis, and Aegis should be claimed in 25 seconds or so. King Tekka farming up top. Earthshaker Blink is available, so if he stands on his wave of Treants, could be in trouble. Movement through the river from the anti-mage. She has Battle Fury Yasha at this point. There are 2 Desolators on Sacred side. And Aegis is now reclaimed on Leo Style. So both the TA and the Lifestealer sporting a Deso Armlet for the Lifestealer. Vision briefly scouted the puck and now trying to retreat top lane is most of Infamous's lineup. Ice Blast is going to fly. Matthew smoked up. Flying Vision. They must be wondering, you know, why the Prophet is playing so far forward with no one showing in any other lane for Sacred. So Infamous playing safe here in the trees. Haven't gone for the Blink Echo onto the Prophet just yet. Meanwhile, bottom lane, that doesn't feel too good. as the Ancient Apparition going to be TP'd on. And now the Infest Bomb from Matthew tries to get the Anti-Mage. Matthew, in fact, the one who ends up low, and he's going to be brought down. Benjaz is going to be... Well, Winter's Curse comes through, waiting for Masoku there, and they will get the puck because of it. Now Benjaz going to turn into Schofield. Beautifully baited there by the Wyvern. And that is why you kind of saw me be silent for a moment. Now TPing up to the top lane. King Tekka. He's going to get jumped on here and probably killed. Yeah, Deity will finish him off. King Tekka, once again, just kind of feeling a little too strong. He has an Orchid, but it was on cooldown when he TP'd in. Had he waited for the Orchid to be up, certainly you don't see Deity trade with him like that. But under Ward Vision here, briefly, was the Anti-Mage. They don't punish him for it, fortunately for that Anti-Mage. And with that solo kill, he'll nip at the heels of the TA as far as net worth goes. Roshan up in a minute 13. Look for Sacred to be extremely attentive to that. Benjaz going to pop the armlet up, and Infest, there is an invisibility rune bottom as well.
Blessings.
Yes.
And Papita may just end up showing himself here. They do not see him. They'll make a move over towards mid, which will likely be unsuccessful, as no real heroes in the vicinity. Papita, though, did make his way towards mid. Invisibility still about half the duration here, and the puck. Oh, he gets the silence off very luckily for him onto Matthew. Now jump forward, though. Matthew finds the crush anyways. Benjaz comes out of the Infest. Now top lane with the Ice Blast. They're looking for King Tekka. They'll find him.
Who uproots me?
But rotation coming through from Matthew and Masoku. In the river, the Slardar moving very quickly, and the TA nearby for Leo Style as well. Leo Style kind of baiting here as the Anti-Mage cleans the wave up. They get the Winter's Curse on the wrong target here. Deity going to blink down to the south. Matthew thinking about blinking. We'll find the Earthshaker at least. Benjaz nearby. And Leo Style will clean up the effectively sacrificial lamb for Infamous in that Earthshaker. As you can see, Sacred are not extremely fervent as far as let's go take objectives. It does seem that they're being patient for this Roche. And it will spawn relatively shortly. Ice Blast will fly out, hits onto Leo Style. Benjaz will open wounds up one of the larger creeps to try and stay in fighting shape. And bottom lane, Matthew going to find a crush onto the Anti-Mage, but he's going to die for it. As the Boots of Travel for Papita allow him to be there. Cold Embrace mid lane on the Wyvern, and the puck forced to blink defensively here. And this game looks a lot more sloppy from Sacred overall as compared to the previous two. Perhaps feeling a little bit confident in this one, and it's showing. Still some pretty stable play from Leo Style and Benjaz, but Matthew and King Tekka often been a little bit far out.
Never refuse gold given.
Masoku has certainly played very well. Been in the right place in the right time on the Wyvern. Most notably that curse in mid lane. Infest queued up once again in the Matthew Slardar. And now they have Leo Style as well. Oh, and this is just perfect. Fisher comes out, though. Echo Slam is there, too. And the Ice Blast coming through. Deity is able to blink up to the west to the high ground. The Slardar was taken out. And it's a lot expended for Infamous's side, but they keep their Anti-Mage alive. And they do kill off the Slardar. Which means that, you know, had Sacred found that pick, it was an easy Roche. So it was not just an Anti-Mage kill there. It was much more than that. Leo Style does have the BKB. Didn't have to use it there. But still, the Anti-Mage beginning to accelerate in farm quickly. As he's got the full Manta and a good portion of the gold on the way to his Butterfly. Really need the Slardar for this Roche attempt. And they will pop the Lincolns now. Matthew gets the corrosive haze off, and that will expedite this Roche attempt. Alright, Benjaz rather low, but does have the cheese, as this is the second Roche of the game. And Slardar moving at a gazillion move speed will look to find out the Schofield Earthshaker. With the help of King Tekka, they'll do that.
A prize.
And it's a 40-second window with the wave a little bit far back. It'll be difficult for them to take anything of great significance off of that pick, but Leo Style should blow this wave up quickly, so this tier 2, considering its current state, will likely fall. Stinger looking for a trade top lane on the puck, and he'll do so very slowly. Ice Blast gonna fly, will connect onto the 2 major cores of Sacred's side, but yet to be convinced otherwise. They will continue to press. TP in from the TA looking for the anti-mage, and Psionic Trap is just off the mark. Right idea from Leo Style. Benjaz infested again, gonna jump forward mid lane. They're looking for the Papita Ember Spirit. He does get away with the covering Fisher from Schofield. And that could have been a very big kill with Aegis in hand for Benjaz and Matthew. But the anti-mage split push forcing Leo Style to the bottom lane. And no TP from the King Tekka Prophet. Well, Masoku, he's forced to use the Winter's Curse here, and he may just die regardless. Coil does whiff. He goes for the TP. Slight chains, though, will ensure his death, and he will simply delay it with the Cold Embrace.
Not your best effort.
They got the tower as well, did Deity. Leo Style got a tower in the meantime. Well, no, that was probably the previous tier 2 here that was taken. Benjaz working on mid lane has the cheese, but still, this is a risky proposition. They do have vision behind themselves, though, and he will swipe it down. Now jump forward. They're looking for the Earthshaker. Do they have the follow-up? They get the Orchid off. Open Wounds is there, and they'll bring him down. No Force Staffs or anything of the sort to bring him down to the low ground. Matthew, Blink, Sprint, and Crush up again. They have the gem as well. They'll get the Courier. Just 2 sentries on it. But King Tekka, as he loves to do, is going to get to taunt because of it. He's got a Hex now. This is a major pickup for King Tekka, who has quietly been finding farm in this game. He's got 7 deaths, but he's responsible for half of his team deaths, with Infamous having 14 kills. Also responsible for a good portion of the kills. 7 and 6 as far as kills assists go. Lincoln's going to be picked up on the puck. Very nice to have against the Winter Wyvern. And to throw on the anti-mage to help him siege. Also against the Slardar, of course, Matthew. Looking to find something. And phase shift. Blink back from Stinger. Right back in they'll go, though. And, oh, they'll catch him. Well, phase shift comes out. They don't look for the crush just yet. Now they'll get it off. What patience from Matthew. Even faking me out. And a jump forward. Hex Orchid up onto one into the base. That's going to be Pepita's Ember Spirit. He is able, though, with the Lotus Orb to purge that off and zip away. Ice Blast is going to fly. It's a big one. Connects onto 2, Leo Style and King Tekka. They'll get the tier 3, though. And with the puck down, feeling confident here to continue to press. Benjaz going to rage up, take out the melee racks here. And near victory, Sacred begin to break base for Infamous. Up 2-0 in this best of 5. Anti-Mage trying to push for Deity, but they will address that issue quickly. Deity still hanging around. Not sure if that Psionic Trap caught glimpse of him, but either way, he'll make it away. Baño. The heck does baño mean?
soldier's fortune.
Alright, I'm gonna miss something while I look that up, so let's not do it. I figured it meant washroom, but apparently Leo style can hold it. Is he looking at a nullifier here with this relic? I mean, Radiance seems weird. Yeah, and it certainly is. Flies out to him now. That is really cool against the anti-mage Manta style. If you mute him and Orchid him up, that is a really, really cool idea. Haven't seen it picked up all that much in response to an AM. And for that matter, the Ember Spirit as well. Lotus Orb and Manta are two, extremely vital parts of their survivability kit. So this is 30 minutes in. Tier 1 still standing. Pepita going to put some punishment into it, but he will back now. Masoku going to scout himself an Arcane Rune. And Leo style alongside Matthew working on the bottom shrine of the Radiant. As Deity pushes their tier 2 in. By what he wants them to feel is his lonesome, but his entire unit behind him. Dire Vision doesn't see much other than the anti-mage, but they'll just push themselves for now. A Radiant scan coming out looking for, the flanking Dire unit. Won't find it. King Tekka thinking about the split push. Matthew still kind of stalking on the Slardar, and as they see the units approach their base with no one nearby, they're a lot less concerned about the split push threat. Leo style Aegis, cheese in hand, no Aegis, but does have the 10 second BKB as well. So a rather strong TA at this point. 28 seconds, no Ice Blast for the AA. As Matthew going to TP back looking for a straggler. Not going to find it. Unless. It'll just be King Tekka. And now Matthew and Benjaz will pop up. Looked like Pepita was actually considering going on Tekka there. As he dropped this and made his way down. As soon as he saw the Slardar, made his way back up. So perhaps a bit of fortune for him there. Not that he was going to necessarily overcommit with the defensive remnant up. They can blink Curse here if they bring in more support, and Matthew's making his way down bottom. Stinger playing very safe though as well. Roshan, 10 seconds till minimum respawn. As Matthew doing a bit of de-warding. You look at the Radiant vision overall, and they are rendered almost completely blind. All their vision is on this top left quadrant of the map.
The seeds of fortune. With me.
So they do see the Prophet here if they want to make a move. They are looking for the Abyssal and pretty much have the makings of it. Jump though, mid lane, Hex. They're going to find it on the Ember Spirit. He's down 66 seconds. No buyback. Roche, a 1 minute spawn, so he'll be up pretty much simultaneously with the Roche. But this will open the door for Matthew to do some de-warding here. And so we talked about how blind the Radiant were a moment ago. That's only going to increase in scale. Oh, jump forward. They're looking for the Wyvern. They get the Abyssal. They'll kill him off before he's able to get a Winter's Curse. Now BKB popped by Leo style. He wants to look and fight, but they're doing so much physical damage. He just ends up dying, and Masoku buys back thinking that a big engagement's going to break out. Meanwhile, they just lose a TA and her 10-second BKB charge. And the Anti-Mage now pressing for more. They will find the Ember Spirit, but they'll get the Winter's Curse off as well. They need the Crush from Matthew. It is going to be there, and they'll get the first kill. Now the Hex onto the AM. Do they have enough burst damage? He'll Manta up. Deity looks for the Abyssal Blade on the Wyvern. That's a dieback on Masoku, and he'll get the Blink out. Beautiful play on the boundary of death by Deity, the stand-in. And the Puck's Lincoln Sphere thrown on him for good measure from the back as well. And he'll get a dieback on the Wyvern. You know, not the greatest accomplishment, but still nice to have. And just completely playing on the edge of life and death there. Alright, this is kind of cool. Maelstrom picked up by Old Stinger. You can get the Rapid Fire Dream Coil talent and proc Maelstrom off of all of those right clicks. So very, very cool if it, you know, ends up panning out. Third Rosh of the game here. Refresher Shard is going to be on it. And all of these heroes pretty low cooldowns. You might want to get the Refresh Rage for the Lifestealer, but looks like they'll give it to the Prophet, who's got a Hex and a BKB. Jump forward. Echo Slam's going to find one. Fisher's going to be dodged by Benjaz, and they are going to get big swipes coming out of their Lifestealer. Nice reaction by the Lifestealer, but they jump forward on the TA. Cold Embrace will be there. Winter's Curse, but the Ice Blast connects. Leo Styles down. It's just the Aegis, however. Now a jump forward. They're going to Abyssal up the Benjaz Lifestealer, but he gets the cheese off. Deity in trouble now. He's going to be muted and blinks over to the east. Still not silenced, although muted. A couple more right clicks, gets another blink off. Leosal has his BKB up. On the bottom side of the map, they're able to take out Papita with the Slardar. Pressing forward, looking for the Earthshaker, and they can't get him. Fisher jump forward from the Anti-Mage. He will take out the Nature's Prophet. Matthew thinking about jumping in, but doesn't have the mana for a crush. Just gets off the Corrosive Haze. Benjaz forced to back out as the buyback comes out from King Tekka. And Sacred can smell it. They can taste victory and a ticket to the Summit 8 LAN final as they'll buy back on Tekka. Luckily for them, there are no buybacks for the Ember Spirit or the Puck. They'll work on the tier 3 here. Jump forward. They get the Orchid off onto the Earthshaker. He gets Ghost Scepter, though. Ice Blast pretty much going to whiff. The Chilling Effect does hit Benjaz. Two-man Fisher comes through. Deity, though, he's sprouted up. Now blink forward. Abyssal Blade is going to be there. And the Mana Void. He takes out the TA and the Lifestealer. You'll even get the Wyvern. Now I'm pressing forward for more. Looking to take out the Nature's Prophet. He needs a bash here. Will he get it? No. King Tekka making it out. But still, heavy damage sustained here. Buyback on the Earthshaker, buyback on the Ember Spirit, buyback, though, on the Winter Wyvern and Prophet down. Of course, Wyvern used in that middle lane. So it was not, you know, as a result of that fight, but is still on cooldown nonetheless. And the Anti-Mage continuing to become stronger and stronger in this one. Assault Cuirass finished up. He's just going to take out the tier 1 with ease. And nearly 6 slotted. I mean, 7 slotted, I should say. With a Moon Shard to be picked up shortly. Winter's Curse mid lane. And they jump forward. They get the Orchid off. Can they mute him, though? The Lotus Orb will be there to purge the silence, and they will jump forward. Papita coming through. They get the Abyssal off onto the Prophet. He's going to get Cold Embraced up. Benjaz is going to TP in. Leo Style still respawning here. Crush does connect onto 2. Mana Void is there. It finishes off the Prophet. Deity, he's a little bit low on mana. Matthew needs to continue to press forward, and he will. Doesn't get the Crush off just yet. Papita down to the low ground. Leo Style waiting with open arms, though, for the Ember Spirit. Psionic Trap is going to get off now. Down jump forward from the Anti-Mage, looking to take out the Lifestealer. Can they do it? They will. Double kill for Deity. Now Leo Style, he's left to his lonesome. He gets the blink up to the high ground. They do not have a Winter's Curse here. Schofield looking for an initiation on Leo Style, who should have a blink shortly. It's not there in time, though. He gets melded up. Splinter Blast flying out. Silenced up is Leo Style's TA.
Back again.
And buyback coming out from the Slardar. They do get Leo Style back. Will not have a Prophet or a Lifestealer for 50 seconds. Infamous now barking right outside the base, poking at the high ground here. No buybacks available for either of these two heroes, guys, and they're not coming. As Lifestealer over 800 gold away. They get the Slight Chains onto Leo Style. Jump forward from Masoku. He's just going to get silenced and Abyssal. The Wyvern is down. This could just be tier 4s here for Infamous. They jump forward with the Abyssal Blade. Ice Blast not going to be there as Masoku with a defensive Force Staff. Slight Chains, though, is going to find Leo style, but objective-based gaming for Infamous' side, and the power of the Anti-Mage stand-in, that is, for Deity, has propelled them to likely what will be a Game 4. Matthew, Shadow Bladed up, looking for someone important, won't find them. Jump forward, he's going to get fissured up. Abyssal Blade will be there onto King Tekka. He gets the BKB off, but it won't matter. And Schofield, he's going to at least survive for now. Benja's in trouble, tries to get to the Slardar to infest and can't do it. And Sacred are going to drop this Game 3.
Will you not rise in my presence?
King Tekka calls it, disconnects from the game, and certainly was not his best showing,
Get up
as
if you
King
can.
Tekka ends up with 10 deaths on the Prophet, over a third of his team deaths. And Deity, I mean, he carried. Old Stinger played well as well on the puck, and his Lincoln Sphere purchase allowed Deity to continue to press forward, but that's an anti-mage game if I've ever seen one. The other side of things, King Tekka farmed a lot, you know, got his items up, but just got caught far too often. And as soon as the pickup of the Abyssal Blade comes out for Deity, the game seemed to turn immensely in the favor of Infamous, who do not square the series up yet, but at least take a win. They will not be swept here, at the very least. And they'll push this to a Game 4, as Sacred, perhaps from the very get-go, feeding the first blood, diving a little bit too much in that Radiant safe lane. Too close to victory here. But a humbling defeat for them. We'll see if they can take it back in this fourth game, for a third win. Or if the comeback continues for Infamous. MRP here on BTS Summit 8 South America qualifiers will return shortly.